Hi everyone, welcome to the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name is Steve Reeves and I'll be the host, and we've got a fun show where we're going to talk about our fun and interesting websites. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. In case you just tuned in, this is the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name is Steve Reeves, and what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about fun and interesting websites. We're going to connect to the internet, and we're going to show all kinds of different websites, not just fun but interesting. What we do is we've done a lot of shows on the internet, and we've shown utilities and all kinds of browsers and things, but we've never actually shown any real websites. And a lot of people have called in on the hotline and email and want to know, what is it? What is the web? How can we find fun stuff? And what is there to look at? And a lot of people want to know just what it is. So what we decided to do was I just made a bunch of bookmarks in Netscape, and we're going to just hop around and see some fun and interesting websites. So I guess what we're going to do is go right to the screen, and we're going to show, hey, look at that funny looking guy there. This actually is my web page, and it's welcome to the virtual world of Steve Reeves. And what I've got on here is personal information, and I've got work-related information. I work at BMC. I've got for some reason the graphics didn't show up there, but there's the ACE page that will actually hop to the other ACE page. If we go, like for instance, this, we'll just hit over the top of that. And what it does is it'll load up the ACE page. The logo comes up there, talks about what the show is, and it tells, we can actually hit right here on this screen, right on that link right there, and we can hop right to the other web page, the one that James works on, and we can go down here and find out where it's shown, what channels it's on, what's coming up in the future shows, and you can go back to the virtual world of Steve there. And we'll go down here and let's say, for instance, we can go down here to fun Steve's favorite websites. Actually, these are just some of them. I'm always updating this and adding more sites, but what we can do, let's just go back to this. Let's just stop that. Oh, here they are. They're coming up here. And there's things like Autodesk, the Ace Ventura. Here's a fun page. Let's hit that one first. Now, a lot of people don't realize that you can find all kinds of fun stuff on here. Not just interesting, but fun. Uh-oh, we've got a problem there. Let's see if we can do this. Go back here to this, and what happens is every so often you will get a little glitch. Sometimes there's a small problem with something with the connection with the provider. Sometimes there's not. It's loading up the information here. And this one is Pathfinder. Pathfinder has all kinds of fun connections, not just Ace Ventura, but also a lot of magazines. I think it's actually run by Time Warner. There's Time Magazine, all kinds of different things. And we'll bring that up in just a minute here. Let's just hit this and stop. And we'll go back to the bookmarks, and let's find out what happened here. Let's go to sports, for example, Sports Illustrated. This also is on Pathfinder, and what this does, this will come up here. You can see it's loading it up. I don't know, we'll have to go back to the Ace Ventura page. I don't know what happened. There must be a lot of people on it or something. What this is actually Sports Illustrated, and it comes up every week, and exactly what's in the regular Sports Illustrated is on the web page. And there might even be more things too, because they can update it during the week. And we can go in there and find out news, scores and stats, NFL, Classic Edition, NBA, college basketball preview, faces in the crowd, exactly the same headings that are in the book. You can see the last issue is the one with Pat Riley and Don Shula on the front. Also a little thing on the Olympic Games. But if we hit over the top of, like, for example, the front cover, it actually make a full-size page on the screen of the front cover. We'll just stop that right there. And it actually goes down to, we can go down here exactly. See, Miami loves Pat Riley but wants to give Don Shula the boot. We'll go to another one. Let's go with the architectural, for example. If we go with this, there's This Old House. There's the AEC, which is Architectural Engineering Construction Product Library. There's also, this is a fun one here, the London Universal Marble and Granite. Now this is pretty wacky, but what it really is, it's like someone's catalog, and you can go in there and download actual it looks like pieces of marble, so you can actually see what it's going to look like, or granite, or any kind of stone that they actually sell, and see what it looks like. But one great thing about it is those are all GIF files, and you can save them as backgrounds for your web page. If you're making up your own web page, you can actually use those. I don't know if you're really supposed to be doing that, but it's pretty cool. You can actually save parts of that granite and things for your web page, or anything else you want to do that you want to use GIF files. But this is actually the London Universal Architectural Stone Company. And you can go down here to the marble and granite, and it's got a little blurb about, you know, what they're talking about. And you can go, for some reason it's a little slow. We're using I might as well tell you what we have here first, so we can see, so people know what we're using as far as a computer. We've got a 46 here with, this is just regular old Windows 3.1. This machine doesn't have Windows 95 on it yet. It's actually an IBM 700C. It's actually a 46 SLC. And we've got an Optima 28.8 modem, external modem. The reason I like this external on here is because, well, one reason I have to, because this PC doesn't have a PCMCI slot, but I can actually see if it's connecting. Every so often you'll find, especially when you're on the internet, you can't tell if you're connected or not connected, and you can't really, you know, it looks like you're just stuck or you're locked up. And this way you can tell by the lights of exactly what's going on, if it's actually downloading a file, or if it's in the middle of something, or if it's actually stuck. So what happens is, you know, sometimes you'll actually want to just stop and hit stop, and you can go down there and see what's going on. So we can go down here and you can see, like here for example, is a picture of one of the pieces of marble. It actually has the name down there. And you can, a lot of people don't realize what you can do. You can see it, I stopped in the middle of it. If you hit with the right-hand button of your mouse, it'll actually allow you to save this image. If you hit save image as, it'll actually have the name 0357R GIF file. And if you hit OK, it'll actually save that file to your hard drive, so you can look at it later. So you don't have to just see it where it is. I'm just going to stop it right there. Now, let's go to another bookmark. We'll go to, I've got these divided, and a lot of people don't realize you can do this also. In Netscape, this is actually version 1.22. But they all could do this, but this is what version, just so you know what's going on. I don't have the 2.0 version on this one, just because I was waiting to get, on this system, for example, Windows 95. I have it on my other PCs, but this one I just have Windows 3.1. You can actually divide these up, not only by bookmarks, but by categories. By headings is what they actually call them. So you can have architectural, there's this old house, you can divide them all up. This one are just cameras, and they're actually called cams, where you can go in. There's the fish cam, there's the Trojan room coffee machine, where it actually just shows you a picture of the coffee pot, and you can see what's how much coffee is in there. So if you're, I guess if you're too lazy to walk to the kitchen to find out how much coffee it is, you connect to the web, you look and see how much coffee is in there, and if it's full, you go get a cup of coffee. Go down to trucks. There's a Toyota. Here's a fun one right here. Reeves Import Motor Cars. No relation to me, but what this is actually I think it's in California somewhere. It's a dealer that sells foreign cars, BMWs, Audis, Porsches, and all kinds of different things. And what this is actually it's an advertisement. What you can do is you can bring up different pictures of, for example, the new BMW, the one that's in the 007 film. It actually has GIF files of that, where you can actually download them and make them change them into a bitmap, and make the new BMW as your wallpaper, for example, on your windows on the back of your screen. We'll just hit stop right here so we can see if anything comes up. I don't know, for some reason we're having a problem connection to Reeves motor cars here. Let's see what happens here. But we can also go in there, and it has information, it has specs, it has all kinds of all the information about each one of the different cars, like I said, the Audis and Porsches and everything else. But I've downloaded, like for example, the picture of the new BMW. I've downloaded a picture of like the Porsches and things. And what you do is you just hit right here it's actually downloading the logo. And you hit here, and what this does, this goes right into it's a nice background there. It has my name on it. I didn't do that just because I like to look at my name, but it's kind of cool. What happens on this one is we'll go down here. Let's see if it's still connecting. But see, that background file right there is actually a GIF file that was saved. He probably drew it in some paint program or scanned it in or something, and then actually made it the background. It's actually in the HTML of the actual code that makes this up. So we'll go down here. I don't know why it is a little slow tonight. Even though this is a 28.8 modem, I think I've been on here a couple of times today, and it seems kind of slow. I don't know if it's we'll blame it on the cold weather. That's what it is. We'll just hit stop here and see if we can connect anything down further here. And we can go down to, let's go back down to cars. There's things like Toyota, like I said, Dodge Caravan, Jeep. We'll go to like Ford, for example, Ford Explorer. This is the Ford page. What this is, you can find anything you want about the cars that you're interested in buying. You can find, what happened there? We'll go back a little bit further here. We'll go back to just the Ford. We can backspace there and hit that. And this is, instead of going directly to the Explorer part of it, we'll go just to Ford. And this has all the cars, pictures of all the cars, specs about all the cars, prices of some of the cars. Sometimes it has like actual parts of the brochures that you can get at the dealers. Instead of having to go to the dealer, you can find out everything you want to know about there. Some of them have like car clubs and things. It'll actually have things about recalls. It'll have add-ons to the different cars, like accessories and different things like that. We'll just stop here, and we can go down to, this is Ford Worldwide Connection. There's Ford, Mercury, Lincoln, Jaguar. You can see you can actually go into the credit part of it. What's new, information about Ford stocks. There's a museum, Ford Historical Library, and also the customer link, where you can go in there and leave messages about your car, or if you like it or dislike it, or whatever you might want to have about the, information about the particular car you're driving. But we can go here, like for example, to Ford, and this should load up the actual vehicles, the pictures and articles about each one of the different vehicles. I don't know why this is so slow tonight. Okay, so we can go in there. I'm just going to stop it because I don't feel like refreshing. And we'll go in there and look at the Mustang, for example. And what this does, you'll see it'll actually bring up a drawing of the Mustang if it goes any faster. But you can see it also has information. V8 Mustang has everything about how big the engines are and everything else. And we can go in there. You can see this actually is it's loading down here on the bottom, is actually a Mustang. It's a JPEG file. This may not look great because I'm only running, I think, 16 colors, but there you can see it's a picture of the Mustang. Now you can save that. Again, I can just hit with my right button, say save image as, go up here and hit Mustang B, I guess because it's a blue Mustang, hit OK, and it saves that file on my hard drive. Now what I'll need is a program that will actually convert that from a GIF file or a JPEG file into a bitmap file, which is like PaintShop Pro or whatever. And if we want to do PaintShop Pro, all we do is go down here to Graphics, for example, and I know that there's a page called the GASC page. And what this is all a bunch of graphics utilities, converters, paint programs, all kinds of different things. And it also has there's a lot of graphics, a lot of different graphic websites that have different types of utilities for HTML, for things to actually put in your web page. But mostly what I use them for are converters, to be able to change from, for example, a GIF file into a bitmap file, or a bitmap file into a GIF file, because the web uses GIF files, GIF files. That's what you use to actually put in your graphics, or JPEG files or WAV files. But GIF files they're nice and small. They don't take up much room, and it doesn't take as long to load up. Where you can see a lot of these must be not GIF files, because they're slower than beans loading these things up. But what this is actually a directory. We'll just stop it here so we can see what's going on. And we'll hit right here on top of this. And what this is actually well, that's nice. We'll go in here and connect. I'm using, by the way, the provider that I'm using is iLink. i-link. And we've actually had them on the show, and I've been using them for about a year now as my internet provider. There's quite a few internet providers in Houston. Actually, you can pick up some of the computer magazines, and even in the Sunday Chronicle, there's providers in there. And the prices vary from anywhere from, $15 to $20 a month or higher, depending on what kind of connection you have. If you have a regular phone connection, you can get it for $15, $17, $95 a month, up to $50, $60 or even more if you have an ISDN, a faster connection. But it varies depending on the connections you have. But a normal phone line, like a 28.8, for example, you can get from anywhere from $10 to $20 a month. We'll just stop this right here so we can see what's on here. Now what this is you can go down here and there's different things. There's Paint Shop Pro, for example, and you can download Paint Shop Pro. You can see there's a shareware version, or you can actually order the real thing. There's another one where there's a media center. There's capture programs that'll actually capture things off your screen that you might want to put in your web page or anything else. It's not just for a web page. And there's all kinds of different utilities. Now, I use this Paint Shop Pro. For example, that first screen that I showed of my self-portrait, which is kind of goofy, but I like to change the graphics in my web page all the time, so I put in different things. But I use Paint Shop Pro because not only is it a good and easy paint program, but it's also an easy program to convert different graphics from different formats. So if you scan something in, or if you screen capture it and you make a bitmap, you want to change it, it's no big deal. We'll go to another bookmark here, like for computers, for example. We can go to the ACE homepage, Computer Daily News, ZIFnet, that's what that is, the ZD, or Windows, cities and states. Here's Galveston Island. Let's go to Galveston Island homepage. This has a lot of interesting things in it. One is, I guess I should be telling what these are. Like, for example, this is www.galveston.com. And what this is actually a lot of fun stuff. It's all the information you ever want to know about Galveston, upcoming events. There's also a section on real estate where you can actually connect to some of the realtors down there, and it has pictures or floor plans and different things of different beach houses and houses down there. So you don't have to drive to Galveston to find the beach house. You can look on here and it connects to the different realtors. There's also hotels and motels, and different travel people now have web pages where you can actually get on here and connect. I know for a fact that the Galveston web page has a huge opening graphic, so we probably don't want to wait for it to show that. It's a huge GIF file. We got to call them and tell them they need a smaller file. But we'll go in here. Another one, for example, is the Houston. There's just a Houston Proud. Let's go to the Houston websites, for example. This one has all kinds of websites. The Houston Chronicle, Houston Community College, U of H, you can see here it popped up. City of Houston official webpage. There's the Metropolitan, there's the Internet over Houston, the Commerce homepage, and each one of these, you can see there's the Channel 11, Channel 13, radio stations, Houston Chronicle, Houston Chinese Baptist Church, University of Texas, Houston Medical, Houston Community College, Rice. I mean, there's tons of fun things, and each one of these can connect to another one. NASA. I think what we're going to have to do, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll start connecting to some of these different sites, and plus I've got tons of fun ones. So I just wanted to kind of show a quick overview, and then we'll get into this. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. In case you just tuned in, like I always say, this is the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name is Steve Reeves, and what we're doing is we're showing fun and interesting websites, not just in Houston, but all over. And what we're doing, the reason we're doing this is because a lot of people have been calling in, leaving messages on the hotline, and they want to know things about, like, what is web? I mean, what is the web? You know, like I said, in the beginning of the show, we've shown all kinds of utilities and software to actually to connect to the web or to the internet. But we've never actually shown any of the fun sites or different sites that you can go to. I mean, there's things like, for example, what you can do is just pick a city. You know, I grew up in Toledo. I usually don't tell people that because what little respect, they lose it instantly. But I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Anybody out there is from Toledo. I went to school in Cincinnati, and I live in Houston now. So I can actually go back, and Toledo has a homepage. I can find out all kinds of things about Toledo or what's going on. Cincinnati, not only Cincinnati, but the University of Cincinnati. You can not only find out about Cincinnati and what's going on, but you can connect to the University of Cincinnati and find out about classes or what if they're building a new building or the library or anything else. And you can connect to Houston. What we've done here is we've connected to the Houston website. And actually, we'll go back up to the top here so you can see what it is. This is actually the City of Houston connection. We'll go down here and, for example, and just hit the Houston Chronicle. Houston Chronicle is a great site because not only is it just the Chronicle, but you can connect to other sites like the Rockets, the Astros, the Oilers. And that's another thing. Most people don't realize that once you get into the web, you can connect to a lot of different things. What happens is, you can just pick everything. We can pick the Cleveland Browns. You can actually do a search on the Cleveland or the Browns, and it'll bring you every single website having to do with the Cleveland Browns or the Cincinnati Bengals or Pittsburgh or Denver Broncos or whatever, or any of those cities. What you do is you can actually go to the, it's still coming up here. You just go up in, like for example, in Netscape, you go to the net search and give it something you want to search for example, Cleveland or Toledo. And that's how I found some of these different websites, like for sports and things. We'll just stop right here, and we'll go up to this, and we'll just hit Interactive on the Houston Chronicle Interactive page. And what this does, this will actually bring up they'll have different hot spots on the page that you can connect to different things like the Oilers and whatever. But anyways, back to what I was saying before. Sometimes what I do is I just pick a site or just a word like dogs or pick something like I said, Toledo, for example, and find out as much as I can about Toledo and find out about what's going on in Toledo or whatever. I know that sounds boring, but I'm from Toledo, so it's better than going up to Toledo. Just look on the web. It's a lot cheaper, too, just to do it this way. We'll go to stop. And let's go, for example, we'll just go to cities and states. And there's an Ohio web page. Let's go to Cincinnati, for example. See how fast this connects. I'm having a strange problem here with connection on some of these pages. I don't know why it's so slow. But every so often, some of them are a lot faster than other ones. Maybe there's just something with the, like I said, it's the weather. That's what it is. Okay, see that one came up real fast. This is Welcome to Cincinnati, USA. Now, what this is you can, like that right there is a GIF file. We can actually hit right on top of that with the right button and connect to that or downlink that, just that one drawing. Now we can page down here. You can see there's a Greater Cincinnati rated most livable in North America. I don't know who wrote that. But anyway, doing business, there's also a Chamber of Commerce. There's a multimedia directory. And we can go down here and there's all types of different things. Let's go back up here, for example, and just hit the Greater Cincinnati Chamber of Commerce. And a lot of these cities have this now, cities like Aspen and a lot of different resort places and ski places that you can actually download information about where to stay, what to do, the conditions of snow, how deep it is, everything. Not only that, but there's other places like Las Vegas. Las Vegas has its own homepage. I mean, big and little cities. And a lot of these towns are actually doing this. It's easier than making up brochures and things, and it's a lot easier and faster than calling the Chamber of Commerce and having them send information. You can just get on the internet and download information. Members, recent new members, for example, programs to help businesses. We just stop that, for example, or just do that. I'm tired of waiting. We'll go to cool sites. Now, what cool sites are, let's do this. Before I go any further, I want to show you how to do this. Let's say we want to save this as a bookmark. We'll just say Add Bookmark. When we say Add Bookmark, it actually adds it to the list of the bookmarks that are in there. Now we can go down here to view. You can see at the very bottom, the last one is Greater Cincinnati Chamber of Commerce. If we say View Bookmarks, you can see it shows all the bookmarks. That text is a little small, but at the top it says Architectural, Cameras, Cars, and Trucks. If we want to put this I have one called City and States. I can just drag this up and drop it in City and States, and it puts it in there. So now if we double click on City and States, there's all the pages that have to do with Cincinnati. There's Greater Cincinnati Chamber of Commerce, the Galveston, Houston postcard page, Atlanta Internet Directory, Houston Proud, or whatever. Now, what happens is I've made these into different little directories, architectural. Let's say we want to make another one called, let me see, Steve's Pages or something. All we do is go up here to Item and say Insert Header. Let's call it ACE Pages, ACE Pages. And what that does is you hit OK, and what it does is it makes another little page down here in the bottom. Now when we download things or save bookmarks, we can actually put them inside that page right there, so that watch what happens now when we go click on that. If we go here to bookmarks, you can see the last one down here is ACE Pages. Of course, there's nothing in there because we haven't put anything in there. But we can drag something if we want. Let's go up here to bookmarks and say View Bookmarks. And let's open something up like Miscellaneous. And there's a thing called ComSpace. That's actually the page that James is working on. We'll move that down. We'll just page down a little bit here. And we can drag it down and put it into ACE Pages. Now what happens is, we'll go down here, hit it right there. Now it's underneath that, so we can close that. And there underneath ACE Pages is ComSpace. The reason you want to do this is because sooner or later you're going to have about 500 websites. And it'll just get completely out of control. So what you want to do is divide them up into categories. Like I have mine: architectural, cameras, cars and trucks, city and states, computers, cool sites, fun stuff, graphics, hardware, internet stuff, motorcycles, movies, music, news, software, sports, weird stuff. That's my favorite. And now I have an ACE page, but I like to have these in alphabetical order. I don't know, because I'm that kind of a guy. I can just drag this up here, and it actually puts it at the top. So now they're in alphabetical order, A, C, whatever. So now, if you double click on that, you can see that it has that page in there. So now if we get out of here, and we go to bookmarks, you can see the top one is ACE Page, and it actually has that page that we just put in there, or whatever we have that's behind each one of these things. Now, forever, I had Netscape for a long time before I figured out how to do this, and I would have just hundreds of different things underneath my bookmarks, and it would take me forever to figure out what I wanted to look at and where it was. If you divide them up like this, it makes it a lot more manageable. So let's, for example, go to, let's go over here to hardware. You can see there's Silicon Graphics and Welcome to Intel. Silicon Graphics is a pretty cool website. We'll go to Silicon Graphics, not only because it's cool looking, and it doesn't connect. We'll go back here and see if we can make that work there. Silicon works. See if it works. There it is. What happens is this is actually not only a fun page, but it's pretty cool looking because they've made a lot of the graphics in 3D, where a lot of the new the browsers and things like Java and some of those, you'll actually get a lot cooler looking graphics, and things will rotate, and you've got all kinds of fun little bells and whistles for the browsers. So Silicon Graphics seems to be a little ahead of its time, where it's got some pretty neat stuff. And the only problem with Silicon Graphics web page is some of the really cool stuff that's on it is actually for Silicon Graphics. But it's a great place to look and see how things are done as far as backgrounds and text, and how to make a really cool looking HTML web page. So if you want to connect to the thing, it's www.sgi.com. I probably should be telling you all these things. I guess what I need to do is put a file out there on my web page and have all the things that we're looking at right now as my cool website, so you can see where all these are. And by the way, my web page is, it's http://users.aol.com/sareeves/steve.htm. And I'll say that a couple of times, but it's users.aol.com/sareeves/steve.htm. And I'll have all the different sites that I'm connecting to here. Let's just stop this one. For some reason I Again, this is a heavy-duty graphics page here. Some of these things will actually be a lot easier to connect if you have a ISDN line or a TCP/IP connection, if, for example, at your office or whatever. Some of these web pages are getting huge, and it takes a while to download them. Internet stuff, I've got HTML access counter. What this is it's a web page out there that has a program on there that allows you to, or it shows you how to connect to this, to actually tell how many people have connected to your website. So you can keep tabs of how many people actually get on there and look at your website. And it's actually a counter. Java, that's the actually the new program for the HTML, so that you can actually go in there and make some pretty cool graphics for your web page. And also hot links. Miscellaneous, I've got all kinds of wacky stuff here. Exquisite corpse gallery, that's pretty weird. I have the Chronicle on here for some reason. I don't know how I got over to this one here. Motorcycles, there's a Harley Davidson page. Movies, Ace Ventura. Let's try to see if we can get on the Ace Ventura again. See if we can get onto the... for some reason it was not loading real fast and it got disconnected for some reason. Now what this does, this is a pretty cool page too, because not only does it have like all the bitmaps and everything of having from the two movies that he does, but you can actually save them, make them into bitmaps. It has WAV files and audio files from most of his movies, so all the funny things that he said during the movies you can download and play it through your sound card. This PC that I'm using right now does not have a sound card, so we can't play the WAV files. But there's information in different sites that are the same for Ace Ventura, and it connects to the different web page relating to the movies or different movies that are made by the same producers or whatever. We'll go down here and you can, it's got the African, things about his last movie there. Actually, that's connection to Subway because there's a section there about in the movie about Subway. There's animated. Has a little blurb about the cartoon that's coming out, what's new, or GNU as he says. There's help, Ace's wildlife. There's all kinds of different things on that. There's hair and fashion, unusual suspect. I won't say what that says there. Ace Ventura soundtrack page. We'll go to that right there, see how fast it loads up. But this one is actually through Pathfinder. If you hit Pathfinder, it'll actually, we couldn't connect to that for some reason earlier. I think we can now. It's loading a lot faster, luckily. This is a bunch of sound tracks from the movie where you can go in there and it actually has the goofy things that Ace Ventura or Jim Carrey actually says, and you can download these files and play them later. You can actually play them now during your session when you're connected, or you can save them and play them later. Let's see if we can actually connect to just Pathfinder. Let's do this. Let's go to this and delete that and say connect. See how fast we can connect to this Pathfinder. What this is, like I was saying, is a bunch of magazines, and you can set the stock. You can actually check stock prices. You can go to Time Magazine, Ace Ventura. There's Sports Illustrated. All kinds of different things that actually a page will come up with all these different icons on there. Well, if it comes up. I don't know why this is taking so long to load. Oh, there it is. So we'll go here to Table of Contents. And you can see there's also connections. This is another new thing that, well, not just new, but it's getting a lot more lately, is all these different pages have advertisers. Not only advertisers, they don't just advertise here, but if you double click or hit or click on the top of these, it'll actually go to the page, like the Federal Express page. There's a page for just about every single provider like this will have different pages that'll connect. We can go in here, you can see there's Time Magazine, there's Getting Around the Planet, there's People Magazine, and actually the People Magazine is the same way. If you go to People, it actually shows you exactly what's in the latest People. So we'll go to Pathfinder Places. We'll see how fast this connects. Now this is the page that actually has all the little icons from all the different sites that can be connected. Another thing, while I'm at it, I'm going to I want to talk about what next week's show is. Next week's show, what we're going to talk about are what the difference is between an internet provider like what I'm using now, using Netscape or some browser, we're going to compare America Online, CompuServe, Prodigy, and the Microsoft Network. We're going to spend about, well, it's going to be hard to show all of them, but we're going to spend about 12, 13 minutes on each of them, show some of the highlights, what the differences are, why one might be a little bit better, how the interfaces are between each of them, which one. I think, for example, like America Online sometimes has a few more easier ways to get around. Prodigy is simple and easy, and actually it had the very first connection to the web, but it's more of a text-based interface, whereas opposed America Online is more Windows, and so is CompuServe, where Microsoft Network pretty much requires Windows 95, so it has a completely different completely different interface. So what we're going to do next week is actually show and compare each one of those. We've had a lot of people call in and ask, what's the difference between those things, and why would I want one of those instead of a provider? Why would I want a provider instead of America Online or Prodigy or CompuServe or the Microsoft Network? Let's see what's going on here. This thing is slower than beans. That's another of those technical terms. I don't know why this is so slow. I know you can't see that, but that actually says Life magazine. We can go in there. I just stopped it because I was tired of waiting for it. I think because this is a huge graphic, and that's why it does that. So let's go back to a bookmark here, and we'll go to music. There's actually a lot of radio stations now have web pages where you can go in there and find out what the schedule is of their radio station. They actually have wave or audio files of clips from different CDs or albums or whatever you want, a cassette, any kind of all the different bands and things. Here's Jimi Hendrix has his own home page, and Alanis Morissette, Time Warner. That's one that actually has a lot of the different tracks from the different CDs and things that are out there. There's another one, Hotwired. You can see there's a bunch of them out there. One day I just went out there and saw how many pages there were for Alanis Morissette, and she's coming to Houston, and so I just wanted to find out all the different things, all the different home pages. It's amazing. Not only are there home pages through like the music people, but also individuals have made up their own home pages with all the information and like fan clubs and things. I think we need to take a quick break here. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more fun and interesting websites. Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. In case you just tuned in, this is the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name is Steve Reeves, and what we're talking about are fun and interesting websites. Like I said, what we do is we have a hotline where you can actually call in, and that'll come up during the breaks, and you can call and leave messages on what you'd like to see in future shows, what you'd like us to talk about, future guests, and different things like that. We also have an email address where you can leave what you'd like to see in future shows. And so what we've done, we've had a lot of people ask us, what's this web thing? And like I said, we've had a lot of shows on the internet and shows utilities and different browsers and things, but we've never actually shown, some of the different sites that are out there, what's available. So we've been showing different things like there's the cars, and if you want to look up a car or you want to look up a city or anything else, there's ways to connect to all these things through the net search, and I'll show that in just a minute. But one thing that a lot of people have been asking is why would I want to use internet, or why would I want to use America Online or Prodigy or whatever? What's the difference between all these things? I want to make sure everybody watches next week's show because we're actually going to compare all those things, like I said. But what I'm going to do in a nutshell is sort of give you a little overview of why one might be better than the other or over. There's probably not one certain answer, but for example, America Online and Prodigy and CompuServe and things, they've been around for a long time. Well, so is the internet, but not with all the bells and whistles like there is now. it used to be more of a text-based sort of a thing, and now it's a lot more, it's a lot cleaner and more fun and Windows interface with Netscape and the different browsers that are available. But America Online has always been sort of an easy way to find information. You can connect and find out information about airline flights and cost and things, travel information, sports, computers, new drivers and things. It's always had those things along with email. A lot of people didn't realize that the email you were sending were actually going through the same thing where everything else is going through with when you're sending something through the internet or America Online, because you can send information or email between anything, Prodigy, Microsoft Network, CompuServe, and America Online, and it all goes through the same thing and connects. So if you send something out on America Online, you don't have to send it to another person that has America Online. A lot of people don't realize that. You can connect it to anybody. So if you have an email address on any one of those services, you can connect mail to others, to another person that has another service. So there's no big drawback if you have internet. That doesn't mean you can't send mail, or you can only send mail if you have an internet connection. But to a lot of people, the internet may be a little scarier as far as being able to find your way around and knowing how to connect to things. And America Online, for example, and CompuServe, it seems a lot easier because it has the information you want to find right in front of you: sports, computers, travel, the chats, you can talk to other people, or whatever there might be. So a lot of people find that it's a friendly, it's just a friendly screen so that you know exactly where you're going. Or you can connect through America Online or any of these other services into the web browser. Each one of these has their own little web browser. Like Microsoft Network has the Explorer, Prodigy has its own web browser, America Online has its own browser, and CompuServe has the Spry web browser. So what I would suggest maybe is most America Online and Prodigy and those are a little less expensive than most of the internet providers that are out there. So you might want to maybe connect to America Online, or if you already have it, or one of these, and check out and get used to hopping around and chatting with people and connecting to different services and things, and then go into the web browsers and see if you can actually go in there and find out, if you get a little braver, you can do that. I also find that once you connect to websites, your bill for America Online will go sky high, because once you get hooked, you can't stop. So then it might make more sense to have an actual internet provider, because you may find that you'll have more time, because like America Online, Prodigy, most of these, you get for $9.95 a month, you get 10 hours, for example, where most providers, it may cost you $15, $17, $20, but sometimes you get 30 or 60 hours a month. So you have to weigh the differences. If you're going to browse the web and do a lot of web surfing and things, an internet provider may make more sense in the long run. But if you just want to find out what's going on, you just bought a computer, a lot of the computers nowadays come with a America Online, CompuServe, Prodigy, whatever, or even if you buy a new computer nowadays with Windows 95, it'll actually come with a free subscription, 10 free hours or something. You might want to try out and see if it works. If it doesn't, you can always cancel it and get an internet provider. But if you like it, you can stick with it and do it that way. I thought my modem disconnected, but it didn't. It was something clicking there. So you might want to just try. That's my suggestion. I would try, use your free subscriptions up with America Online or CompuServe or Prodigy or Microsoft Network. Try it out for a while. Go out and connect to the web using their provider. See if you like it. If you do, then I would suggest going to a provider. But for most things that most people want to do, you can do the same thing on both. You can actually do a search on Netscape through Netscape through the internet, through the web browsers, to just about anything you can find on CompuServe or America Online or any of the other ones. Like you can connect to Microsoft to download new drivers, or to Creative Labs and download the new drivers for your soundboard, or Windows 95 drivers for a certain hardware that you might have in your computer, or a new driver for software, some new update or a bug fix or something like that. So you might want to think about that, but I would highly recommend using your free subscription for any one of those and try them out. That's my little blurb there. I talk way too much, but anyway. So while we're going to the break there, actually Pathfinder loaded up, so now we can actually finally show this one page here. I have no idea. I want to apologize, by the way, to anybody that thinks this is slow, but for some reason we're having a problem connecting to some of these pages. And this is a 28.8 baud modem, and we had a real clean connection, but for some reason it's kind of slow tonight. It must be a lot of people on. So what this is, again, another advertisement for Canon, but this has Life Magazine, People, Asia Week, Sports Illustrated, like we went to before, Time, Time Daily, Quick Quotes. We can go in there and go to Quick Quotes, and it actually, well, you can put in there anything you want, like Netscape, and find out today's, the Wall Street, the NASDAQ, or whatever you want to have, that want to find out. Zagat, which is it's a restaurant guide for all the different cities. Travel and Leisure, Hoover Business, Fortune Magazine, Money. There's actually Time Life photo sites. I don't know what some is, Van Halen. Electricom. That's actually, you see them on TV all the time. They're actually like an infomercial for computers. Entertainment Weekly. Book a flight. You can actually go in there and book an actual airline flight through Continental or whoever you might want to use. The Weather Channel. You can find out what the weather is in Green Bay, Wisconsin, for example. National Review. There's that Ace Ventura page again right there. That's actually how I found it. Michael Jackson, HBO, which he's not doing, I guess. There's a currency converter where I actually put in there and find out what the daily conversion rate for different money is around the world. Language lessons, a golf guide, one of my favorite. I can tell everybody I don't play golf. I just play around when I golf. I find balls, and that means take points off, strokes off. So the more balls I find, the lower my score is. Britannica Online, Sports Illustrated for Kids, Warner Brothers, Hit City, all kinds of fun things. Let's go to like Warner Brothers, for example. Let's see how fast we can connect to this. Warner Brothers has all the information on, see, why are we coming up so fast now? I don't know. This one comes up really fast. I guess it's, like I said, it must be the weather. What happens on this, they have information about the different Warner Brothers shows and different movies and things that are out there on what's going on. There's a kids, it's kind of hard to read there. We go down here, we can actually, let's do Kids Warner Brothers. And what this does, this will also connect to another site, and it'll load the graphics. You can see there's sites, schedules for different shows and cartoons and different things that are in the Warner Brother channel. I'm on. I need a little crank on the side of this monitor to make it go faster, I think is what it is. You can see it's almost loading down there on the bottom, but it's stuck. You got to kind of hit the side of the computer or something to make it go a little faster. If we hit stop right here, it'll come up, it'll stop it, but it won't do the full screen there. You can also hit reload. Sometimes that'll make it go faster, but you can see it's loading over here on the Netscape logo. When those little asteroids or whatever are flying, it's connected, but for some reason it's a little bit slow. Let's just hit stop and say reload and see if it comes up any faster. Comes up, refreshes the screen any faster there. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, we'll go to, yeah, there it's coming now. You can see there's sights and sounds, and you can click anywhere on the screen here. It actually has hot spots around here. Let's just hit sights, for example. See how fast this will come up. And then we can go back up here and show some of these bookmarks. Another thing I want to talk about is how you do a search, a net search. Net searches is how you can look up just about anything you'd ever want, and you just give it different words. There's different ways to put in different words to actually do a more refined search if you want to do that. Let's just go on here. Again, this Warner Brother is actually done through the Pathfinder. So if you do just http://pathfinder.com. You can see this is a page here. And again, you can hit anywhere on here. You can see there's, when that little finger, that means you can hit there and it'll actually go to the next page. So if you want to find out more about these different characters, you can actually hit that and it'll go to the information about that. Let's go to this. Let's go to a net search right here. What net search does, it allows you to look up anything you want. If we go down here, down the page a little bit, we can put in here, and let's say, what do we want to look up? Christmas, for example. I don't know, let's do that. Christmas. It'll find us all the information we want to know about Christmas. And we can go down here and search, and we go down the little thing. There's Christmas movies, Bob Allison's home page, which is Uncle Bob's Christmas page, country music Christmas, Christmas movie references, seems to be a lot of those, Christmas happenings in Cape Cod, a cappella reviews, Christmas links for kids and adults, Christmas page. Let's go to one of these, let's just go to the next one. You can actually see there's 11 to 20, the next 10 titles. Santa's homepage. Let's do that. Let's go to Santa's homepage. We just hit over the top of that, and what this is says Merry Christmas from Santa, the virtual page. And that's as easy, it's simple to do in the search. So you can actually look up anything you want. Like I said, any kind of city, any kind of information about anything that you might want. You can actually look up books. For example, I'm always showing these dummies books. That's a company called IDG that makes all those books. There's actually a page out there that has all the books that IDG makes, information about each one of those books, how many pages, actual information about what it is. A lot of the books come with discs. If you lose the disc, for example, you can actually download the disc from those pages, from that web page, the IDG web page. I think it's www.idg.com. And you can go in there and it's got, even if you don't have the book, you can download the software and sort of, like the HTML book, they make a bunch of books. And so you can download the software and see how it is, and then you can find out if you want to buy the book to actually find out what goes along with all the software. Here it is, Merry Christmas. What do you get when a cat walks across the beach? Sandy Claus. I guess that's supposed to be a joke. That's real funny. Greeting from the North Pole. There it is. It's refreshing the screen there. Merry Virtual Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. It's got all kinds of different things here. See if it's got... Now, see, this is pretty cool. This is something that they must have made some sort of a GIF file to make those lights go across there. Now, that'd be pretty fun to have in your web page. And you can change it for Christmas. You can have a different one for Valentine's Day with little hearts going across or whatever. Here's recipes from Mrs. Gloss's kitchen. Simple ornaments from the elves. White House Christmas card for you. Christmas around the world. Christmas books, Christmas songs. You can actually email Santa Claus. You got to email him and tell him what I want for Christmas. I want an ISDN connection at home so that I can connect really, really fast. You can see right here, there's that little counter down in the corner, and it says that we're the 6,544 people have called or connected to this website. And so here's Santa Claus right there. It's great, huh? Let's go in here. Let's just see recipes. Let's see how fast the recipes will come up. See, it comes up really fast. Ice cream snow. 1 cup milk, 1 egg beaten, half a cup of sugar, a dash of salt, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Blends everything there. Make a wreath. Go back to the Christmas homepage. We'll just go back to the Santa Claus homepage. We can go down here to, go a little bit further down here. Christmas around the world. Let's find out about a visit. Let's do this. Let's go down a little bit further and say Christmas books, for example. Christmas books. See, you can find out just about anything. So not only is this good for adults, but kids too. We'll go back to this. Let's go to another bookmark here. See if we can connect another one. Software. There's BMC's homepage. That's actually where I work. We'll go down to the software. We'll go to Intuit. That's another great. That's actually a relatively new homepage. It's for people that are using TurboTax, Quicken. There's you can actually download. Let's go to that page. That's probably a pretty good one to go to right now anyway. What this is, and you'll find out there's like information on all the different packages that they sell. Like I said, TurboTax, Quicken, QuickBooks for Windows, Mac and Tax, all the different software packages Intuit makes. There's also a link into their own little network that actually allows you to look up different things and find out about information about stocks and different things having to do with the different packages so you can see it. But again, we need to crank the monitor here, crank the computer to make this load a little faster. This has a lot of graphics, I know that. So let's see if we stop, if it'll come up any faster. And what happens is, this is actually just they just changed it. So this is actually the TurboTax homepage coming soon, because they're actually in transition because it's towards the end of the year and they're going to come up with a new version for 96. So I want to make sure we've actually run out of time here. I've got too many things to show, and we had some problems with connection, so we didn't get to show as many, but we'll have to have another show with more fun websites. I want to make sure you watch next week's show, so we'll see you next week, and thanks for watching.